I bought a backwards compatible PS3 with a custom cooling solution for over $400, and in this video, we're gonna unbox it, test it out, tear it down, and see if it's any good. All right, so opening the box up, we have, hold on. Dude, this is awesome. The eBay seller actually included a handwritten note and like a ninja star, whatever you call it. That's awesome. All right, so first thing I find here is a power cord. We should have the console, and I think it came with the original box, but let's go ahead and pull everything out and see what's inside. So I've got everything out now, including this original box, which is in pristine condition. It looks really good. We also have the cord and controller over here, which look really good as well. Now, the interesting thing is the power cable actually has a ground wire sticking out of it, which I've never seen. Maybe that's a Japanese thing, because this console is from Japan. But we'll put the box to the side. I'll take a closer look at that in a second, but I want to start here with this console. So I told you guys this is a custom cooling solution, but I don't know if you're ready to see what I'm about to reveal here. And oh baby, we got, that is amazing. We have a full-fledged fan on the top of the console with a temperature readout. Let's pull it all the way out now. And man, this thing is something. This thing is a beast. I mean, this console without the fan is already extremely heavy. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this thing. So first of all, it does look pretty good. It's very shiny. There are some scratches, but I think they might have buffed them out a little bit because this console looks really nice. And yeah, so we have our fan here, which actually looks to be implemented pretty nicely. That's actually not bad at all. Now, is this thing useful? I don't know, but we'll experiment with it later. We of course have our on-off switch here, so you can turn it on and off if you want to. The power supply is directly below it, so I guess it's here to help cooling of the power supply. And again, there is a temperature readout there in Celsius. Flipping to the bottom, we reveal our next little experiment here, which is another hole. And this one is not quite as nice as the first one, I'd say. It looks like it's just a cutout hole with a mesh piece here. Basically, there's a fan down on the bottom of the console, and I guess they're hoping it'll get more intake air here on the bottom than on the side. I don't know. We'll, of course, test this out later. Now, flipping to the back here, we have pretty standard stuff. Like I said, it is a Japanese console, so it's your CECH A00 instead of A01. And what is going on there? We got some like straps. Oh, that must be that's a temperature readout. So it's reading your temperature from the back of the console, which is interesting. I'm not sure how useful that is, but interesting to see. Now, flipping to the side, this might be the most interesting part, is the fact that we have a warranty seal intact, and that's a Japanese warranty seal. I've never actually seen one of those, but that looks really cool. I don't know how they cut out this fan and did all this work on this console without opening it up. My guess is that they took a heat gun to this and peeled it up, did some work and put it back, which is a bit sketch in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. So guys, clearly this console is very jank, but I want to introduce you to some other consoles that are even more jank, like by a million. First of all, I want to share this Reddit post with you about this person who is recommending using cleaned old tuna cans to prop up your PS5 for better airflow. Yeah, no words for that. And then if you just search for PS3 holes on Google Images, you find tons of stuff. Like here, you can see that's pretty jank. Actually looks somewhat clean compared to the other ones I'm about to show you. Like look at this one. This one's just got 100 holes drilled in the bottom, which is just funny to look at. And even a PS3 Super Slim with holes on it. I don't know why the PS3 Super Slim would need more airflow, but anyways, just wanted to share some of these with you, and there's a lot of jank stuff out there. And just a quick look at this controller. This thing is in pristine condition. Honestly, pretty much everything I buy from eBay from Japan is in pristine condition. This is no less. This is awesome. Now, the other thing I'm really interested in is this box, because like you saw from the front, pristine condition. Flipping to the back, again, pristine condition, and it's a pretty plain box. I actually like it because it doesn't have all the graphics and stuff on it. Now let's go ahead and open it up and see if there's anything inside. All right, so opening it up, we do still have all of our cardboard inserts here. So we got like our little bubble wrap kind of thing here. We even still have our pamphlets here at the bottom, which are sealed. Wow, that is awesome. I guess let's go ahead and plug this console in and see what it does. And actually, I completely missed this, but there are 2 more holes down here, just I guess for more airflow, and there's like a little mesh piece right there. But yeah, let's go ahead and plug it in. All right, so I booted it up and I used Google Translate on this, and it looks like the console was not powered down properly last time, which is unsurprising for a PS3. And I'm gonna be interested what this looks like, because I've never played a Japanese PS3, but it looks pretty normal. Let me see if I can change the language to English so I can actually read this. Here we go, thanks to a tutorial I found online. Yeah, there we go. All right, I can read it now. And let's see if anything on here is just different than the US version, because that's what I'm used to, obviously. We got this EDI viewer, EDY viewer. I have no idea what this is. Let's try it out. Well, I just looked it up, and the EDI Center, ED Center, however you say, EDY Center, you can receive ED gifts and check your online balance. I don't really know what this is, but it's something related to only Japanese consoles. I guess the other thing to check is our storage space. So we have Oh, they put 500 gigs in here. I didn't even know that. I don't think they put that in the description, but that's nice. But let's go ahead and just start with a game here. I actually have a Japanese PS2 game because as far as I'm aware, PS1 and PS2 games on here are region locked, but PS3 games are region free. So we're gonna try this PS2 game that's a Japanese PS2 game and just see if it works. So the game is working unsurprisingly. I am interested in what happens when you put a US-based game in here for the PS2. I just want to try that out and see what happens. So unsurprisingly, the US PS2 game is not working due to a region lock, but the next thing we need to do obviously is try a PS3 game. And also just by the way, I figured out that this fan actually lights up. I didn't even notice that, but I mean, it looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. I don't know. I'm playing some MW2 and it's working without an issue, which is, you know, no surprise there. But the next thing I want to do is compare horizontal versus vertical of this console. And I also want to compare it to my own personal backwards compatible PS3 and just see how it compares thermal-wise and airflow-wise. So let's go ahead and do that. So by the way, I did try this in horizontal mode and it was clearly much worse in horizontal mode than vertical mode. So I'm not even going to bother showing it on camera. But let's go ahead and move into the console comparison. So basically we'll take two consoles, a personal EO one that I have, and then of course this modded console. Now keep in mind this is not quite an apples to apples comparison because the modded console is an A00 console which uses real hardware for PS2 playback, and the other console I have to compare, like my personal console, is an EO1 which uses emulation to do the PS2 playback. Just keep that in mind. So now let's go ahead and compare the airflow of the two consoles. So we'll start with the normal console over here, which typically you basically have a bunch of holes on the front of the console and then on the side, and this we have it vertical right now, so the side is actually the top, but you can put this paper here and you can see it's not blowing away, so the air is coming in that way. And then it's going out the back. You can see the air is like flying over, or the paper's flying away out the back. So basically your airflow goes in the side of the console, out the back, and it cools off your motherboard, your chips, you know, everything inside. And then with this console, the difference is instead of pulling air in the side, it's actually blowing some air out the side, and it's pulling all its air from the bottom, or the side in this case, and then the top. As you can see, the paper just sticks there. So like what it seems to be doing is pulling air in here, and then trying to push air out over the motherboard out the back, and then same with the top here, you're trying to pull air in over the power supply and out the back, and I actually think it seems to be working decently well so far. I will say that right off the bat, my EO1, my normal console, is just going crazy. Like I have FIFA in it. After like 5 minutes, it was almost at max fan speed. This one over here is actually still like, I don't know, 40 or 50% fan speed, and it's running without an issue. So I tend to think that these fan mods are actually helping, which is surprising. But let's pull out the thermal camera and just see what things look like. So over here on our thermal camera, you can see that we have this fan right over top of the power supply, and I actually think it's doing its job pretty well. You can see this really hot power supply underneath it, but this whole vicinity actually seems to be a bit cooler on this console than the normal console, which is just very hot on the bottom where the power supply is. And of course, like I said, not an apples to apples comparison, but we're doing our best here. So I think that's interesting, and it looks like that's actually helping the power supply heat. Now looking at the back, they seem to be putting out a pretty similar heat signature. Like you've got 100 degrees on the top here, and then 105, 103 down here on the bottom. And then over on the normal console, you have about 103 on top, 103 on the bottom or so. So I wouldn't really say there's too much to write home about there. They're about the same. Actually, I'd say the main difference is here that this console over here is on full blast, and this one over here is like half speed, so you know it's getting the same thermals from half the fan speed. And then the other interesting thing to note here is that I think the entire like bottom side or side of the console, whatever you want to call it, is actually cooler on the modded console where the fan takes in air and pushes it out versus the normal console, which seems to be just a whole lot hotter on the bottom. So honestly, my conclusion here would be that it's actually helping the console. So I just want to be very clear here. I am absolutely not recommending you go home and start cutting holes in your PS3 to try to improve airflow in your system. This is not a scientific test by any means. I just, of course, enjoy buying these weird custom consoles and seeing how they work. I'm a pretty strong believer in the fact that the consoles should stay stock. You know, the engineers put thousands of hours into these consoles trying to design them and test them, and I'm a pretty firm believer that they know what they're doing. And of course, I have no idea what this is going to do to the console long term, so let me know down below what you think, but let's go ahead and move on and try to open this console up and see what it looks like on the inside. Now opening this thing up, taking a closer look at the warranty sticker on the side here, you can definitely see there's like a little bit of wear and tear on the side of the sticker, so they definitely pulled it up with a heat gun and then put it back on. I'm just going to peel it up because I don't like to do the heat gun thing because it just feels wrong to me to put the warranty sticker back on when it's not supposed to be there in the first place. But let's go ahead and open this thing up. All right, so it looks like this fan actually needs to come off first before I can remove the entire top piece. So let's go ahead and take the fan off, and maybe we can get inside. All right, so the fan comes out there, and oh yeah, you can see that power supply now. It's just completely exposed, which I understand like why they did that for this mod because it'll help with cooling. You know, take the casing off, you got air flowing directly over it and out the back, and but it is a little bit dangerous to have a power supply exposed. That's why they don't expose them like that, but I'm just gonna make sure not to touch it. Let's go ahead and see if we can take this top piece off now. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to do some maneuvering here because there's a bunch of wires kind of just like straddling in this piece. So let me see if I can take these screws out and leave all this stuff attached. All right, finally got that top piece off. There is a wire that's going through that hole that I think we'll just have to stick like that for now. Just the entire power supply is just completely exposed there, which is a little scary. But everything else actually looks extremely clean inside. They did say, what did they say in the description? They said it was like, they didn't say clean, they didn't say refurbished, but they said redone, I think. I'll show the description on the screen. So I don't know what that means. Maybe they placed thermal paste, maybe they delidded the console. I don't know, but let's go ahead and try to make it down further in this thing. All right, guys, time for the big reveal here. Got this bottom plate off. Let's see if I can, oh man, that is funny. Yeah, I mean, we've already determined this, but you know for sure that they had to go inside of this console and remove the warranty seal to do this. Basically, we have this big mesh piece, which, oh, that actually, nice and smooth, feels pretty nice, but it's just kind of taped down in here. You got some, you know, black super glue of some sort that holds it down in place. And from this side, it actually doesn't look too bad. You know, it would be nice if there was some sort of like something here on the outside that made it just like look cleaner instead of just drilled straight in, and it just, I don't know, it's clean, but at the same time it's not. Let's go ahead and see what the bottom of this thing looks like and see if we can figure out where they wired in all of this stuff. So first of all, so it looks like they spliced the fan into the existing fan, which is interesting. Like I wonder if, I guess the top fan probably spins at the same speed as the bottom fan, which is kind of clever. You keep them in sync with the system. But next thing I want to do is take out some more screws here and go down to the CPU and GPU and see if they replaced thermal paste, see if they, I don't know if we can tell if they delidded it or not, but we'll check it out anyway. Okay, taking that piece off, you can definitely see where the thermal sensor is now. I'm not really sure what the point of that is. Just the heat coming out the back doesn't really matter too much. It would have been nice if they did like a coupler to the CPU or GPU. All right, there it is. And yeah, that definitely looks pretty new. Yeah, that looks new. Cool, so they definitely replaced thermal paste, which is good to see. It's like, honestly, for the price here, not terrible. I mean, a backwards compatible PS3 itself that hasn't even had thermal paste replaced or anything goes for like 300 or so. I'm talking about the AO1. Now, this is Japanese, so it probably goes for a little bit less. Plus, you got the mods, and you got the box, which is actually, that was a nice box, so not gonna lie, that was worth it as well. Let me know down below, guys, what you think about this console. Do you think the fan mods are worth it? Guys, thanks for watching. Let me know down below what you think, and I'll see you next time.